just sinned. He knew where Adam was physically, but he also knew where Adam was spiritually. God asked the question of Adam to get Adam to consider and take full inventory of his own sinful condition. Similarly, the angel of the Lord finds Hagar and asks, "Where are you coming from, and where are you going?" Where are you coming from, and where are you going? Now, you got to understand who the angel of the Lord is. Put it very concisely. It is believed and understood that the angel of the Lord, when it says the angel of the Lord, not an angel, but the angel of the Lord, it is God himself. It is God himself in the form of an angel. God is showing up himself. It's not a representative. It's him. And so the one who knows all things asks the question. Understand, when God asks you a question, when God speaks a question to your heart, trust that he already knows the answer. He already knows what the answer is. You may not know what the answer is, but he wants you and he wants me to take inventory of what's going on in my heart, in my mind, in my spirit. Where are you coming from and where are you going? It was a question of reflection and consideration. And we know where she was coming from. She was coming from the land of Canaan, the land of promise. The Bible doesn't tell us exactly where she was going, but we have a pretty good idea. We're told that she was on the way to Shur. And the way to Shur was a well-known route known from Canaan to Egypt. It makes sense, of course, because Hagar was from Egypt, as we talked about. She's heading back home. She's going back to Egypt. In Scripture, the land of Canaan represents the plans and promises of God, while Egypt represents sin in the world. And going back to Egypt most often represents backsliding. And so what was Hagar doing? She was giving up on the promises of God. She's walking away from this promised land. I know the promise was through Abraham, but she's walking away from this place. God had delivered her from the land, a place of sin in the world, and here she is in this place of promise. But here's the thing with the place of promise, because even in your promises, even in the promises of God, there can be problems. I'll say it again, even in the promises of God, you can be right smack dab in the middle of the will of the Lord for your life, and there's still going to be problems. And you know why there's going to be problems? Because in the promise, in the promises of God, in the will of God, there's problems because there are people. There are going to be people. And Hagar leaves the promises of God because of problems with people. If you let them, problems with people will drive you away from the promises of God. If you let them. The angel of the Lord is trying to get her to consider the fact that where she plans to go back to isn't better than where she just was. Don't forget, Hagar, you were a slave in Egypt too. It may not be perfect in the promise, but have you forgotten that Pharaoh is the one that gave you away? That man chewed you up and he spit you out. He sent you packing. Probably didn't even give you a parting gift. Piece of property. You're gone. And that's what the world does. Can I just expose a trick of the enemy real quick here? Egypt is always more appealing the further away you get. You see it with Hagar. She's leaving Canaan and going to Egypt as if she's some long-lost princess that they've been waiting for. They got a room in the palace. They kept her room just the same. They got all the same posters that she had on the wall. They got all the little Barbie dolls that she had when she was a kid. They left everything because they're just waiting for her. That's not the reality. That was not her reality in Egypt. She's going back and nobody cared about. Nobody was thinking about her. No one was worried about her. She got booted out very unceremoniously and got put into the arms of another person, and here she's going back to that. There's nothing to go back to. I want to tell somebody, when you've been serving God a long time, it's easy to look at Egypt, what you came out of, and say, you know what, maybe it wasn't so bad. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I could just go back and give it. No, there's nothing there. It's not what you think it is. It's a mirage. The children of Israel did the same thing. They get out of bondage from Egypt, and they have their backs up against the wall known as the Red Sea, with the Egyptian army coming before them, and here they are between that rock and that hard place, and they're remembering Egypt a little bit differently than what Egypt was, and saying, you know what? Matter of fact, think about it. Moses got us out here, got us out of Egypt. We told him to leave us alone. We were fine. I was fine. I didn't mind the whips. Whips weren't that bad. We had work. At least we had jobs. Now here we are just wandering out homeless and jobless, and now we're about to get killed. Would have been better if he would have just left us in Egypt to be slaves. You remember that food in Egypt? Remember those flesh pots? We had food, didn't we? Now look at us. Got nothing. It's so easy to misremember what Egypt was like. It's so easy. And this is what the enemy wants to do. The enemy wants to twist. And it's like, y'all familiar with filters?